Hello everyone and welcome to my video. Today I want to show you my new Rails application. The name is UF. UF is a Rails application that pretty much lets you discover street art. So it's pretty straightforward. So let's get started. I'd like to show you my home screen. My home screen has some show capabilities for unauthenticated users. So for example, lets users by using the class method to see the latest walls that have been added to the app. And let's go ahead and log in so we can see some of the actual features for authenticated users, see the actual um, main purpose of the app. So let's go ahead and log in. Um, I'm not gonna go too deeply into logging, signing up, and remembering password, forgetting password, because I'm using device, which is pretty straightforward, and it pretty much lets you get started pretty quick. And there's a lot of documentation in that. But I'm gonna go ahead and do sign in by using the OmniAuth gem, and actually I'm just gonna do Facebook. Then it sends back, I already authenticated myself, so it's going to send back the credential details to my application. And again, by device has information such as email and so forth. So as you can see, I have other routes since I'm authenticated. And let's go ahead and see the most important route that I have, which is actually add a wall. So let's say I was in New York City, let's suppose, and I discovered a wall. I said this mural or this is pretty nice, so I'm gonna go and share it with the community, share it with people so they can see this pretty nice mural that just came up in near my neighborhood. So let's actually say, well, I don't know the artist, but I know I know the wall, but I don't know the artist. So true reality, a wall either can have many artists, but it also doesn't necessarily need to have an artist. Um, an artist can have one or many walls. So this is kind of a many-to-many relations that could happen, and I'm going to show you how that's displayed. But I do have a join table artist wall, so I'm going to show you more of that later. So let's go ahead and get started. And let's do some basic validations here. New York, so remember, colorful brings life to my neighborhood. Okay. Tag name, we don't need tag name. Let's see what happens. Similar to validation really quickly. And let's say it's later. So the first validation that we see, this is on my location model, and I'm using the gem countries. So, and also just doing here a find, so you didn't find a location test. But since we already know it's in New York City, so let's do that. And let's do the next validation. Let's actually do a tag. Oh, let's do it later. Let's do the next validation. Let's try to put and see what if we put an image that doesn't have this actually not an image. Here we go. Here we see the next validation. So we ensure that our wall has all the images. So let's add an image. I'm using Minimagic to do image optimization. My actual image processing was done with Active Storage. And let's go ahead and if my image is, I only allow images smaller than 1 megabytes. And if the image is larger than 200 kilobytes, I think it does the image actually optimizes. So let's go ahead and submit it. It looks good. Let's add the year. Let's say I found it this year and address, location, and do the later. I got the confirmation pretty quickly, and it's a helper view method that says wall and claim. So it said edit wall to add artists. I don't have any tags. So let's say I came back and say, oh, I already know the artist name, the actual artist name. His name is Cobra. And let's go ahead and add his name because he's a street artist that make this art. So as you can see, he has pretty similar, so you can recognize some of his art. And so let's go ahead and edit the wall, and as you might see, the theme that we could see, this wall is kind of, it's actually spiritual, I would say. And I'm using some JavaScript to do this. Kind of seems like dynamic, but it's just client side kind of scripting here. So let's go ahead, and I don't have, let's see if I have. Okay, so there's no artist name. So if artist the font, add new artist. I didn't implement this nested attribute. My tags is nested attribute because it finds or create a tag name. However, artist nor location are nested attributes just the fact that I was using some JavaScript and it was already too complicated. So I decided to keep it simple and not have a lot of forms being on the same page or being displayed by JavaScript, so it could lead to manipulation. So let's go ahead and do this and see some of the validation that I have in here. Hometown, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Let's say I don't have some validations here. On my URL are using regex. There is some open URI as well used to validate and adding some HTTP as well. Let's see how validation works. So website has no value URL, HTML is value URL. So I don't have a website, but I'm gonna go ahead and add the Instagram, submit. Okay, great. So this is my artist show view that I have right now. I'm gonna come back to it, but my artist has been successfully validated. So at this point, I'm gonna actually reload to ensure that my data HTML5 data list is updated with the new artist that I just added, which is Cobra. Great. All right, so I think my wall is ready. Since I'm editing just the artist, I'm good to go. Make sure I have spiritual tag again because I didn't save it last time. So let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. I have my tag and I have Cobra. Now, two quick things. If I go back to the home screen, I'm going to see my class level method just had in New York City wall by Cobra. And this has the tags. It's just a sample of the tags. And this I'm implementing version 2 when I have more tags. So you could also do class level search by tags. Right now, if I click on this location, it will actually take you to the wall. If I click on the artist, it will take me back to Cobra. Great. So this is where we are. Here in the show view for the artist, there's some very basic information. Probably just going to make it nicer. However, I have some nested routes here. I could either add a new Cobra wall by the artist. It already pre-populates the name. So I could just go ahead, let's say I found another wall by Cobra in another city or New York City, etc. I just add it and go through the same procedure as we did before. We can also see another index nested level view, which artist walls, and it shows all the artists that belong, all the walls that belong to the particular artist. So this is pretty much my nested view, as you might see it from how we added. As I mentioned, it could be that a particular wall, such as this one in Milan, more than one artist made it. Let's suppose this wall was made by more than one artist, or this particular street art was made by one more artist, as we can see here by these two artists. I have a submittable attribute. In this case, this user submittable attribute is called contribution info. In this case, it's empty because I haven't added. So I added this with JavaScript, and it pretty much adds a pretty small form that you can add contribution details. So we could say Ganzir and All right, so if you just submit, here's gonna do this quick submission and update and have a helper view that it's whenever their collaboration details shows them. You can edit them right from the view. Just to submit if you want to change something. Yeah, it's kind of my show view. But let's go ahead and take a look at other different features of my application. I have another class level tester route that I created, which is called latest artists. This kind of shows the artists that have been recently added. I just finished this route, so I need to do more, tweak a little bit, make it look nicer. Maybe show some, take a wall from the artist if they have a wall. And I have these are the avatars that I have right now, pretty straightforward, but again, it takes you to the artist page, and we've seen, and it also you can see the Instagram. It's kind of the nested route that I have with class level methods, such as find the latest artist that been added to the database. And you've seen some of the validations. However, we also have another one validation that I have for locations. But before I do that, I want to show you the different this view, which is pretty useful if users want to go ahead and discover walls by cities, and they will see, like, for example, in Bogota there are 2 walls. So I say I want to look at all the Bogota walls. There are 2. Then you can discover artists. If there are multiple, you can discover them. You see, oh well, Banksy collaborated as well. That's pretty cool. Yeah, oh, who's Banksy? And then you see, oh, how many walls do you have Banksy? He wants bulletin first. So it kind of helps you kind of discover, or by city, and we'll say, oh, Sao Paulo, we had a city, again, has an image, but city. You could edit this as well, and we can see by New York City, this nested route as well. Just kind of, which is an index, and then it goes to view of the particular city. And like I mentioned, on cities, you could either add a new city. It has the country validation. So if you do something like this, like a weird country, then it will throw an error. I didn't go that deep into validating cities. Wanted my application to be fast, but as long as it belongs to a country. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my app. My main challenge that I had was actually working with the images. I use active storage. I use Minimagic, and I use actually Google Cloud Storage for my images. And it took me a long time, and there's not a lot of documentation for Google Cloud Storage. And I had to make it public, then I had to read from the ID and have that path being sent out so that image would display, because my image were being saved into Google Cloud, but I wasn't able to display them. So yeah, this is pretty much my app. Thank you so much for taking a look at it. I welcome any feedback that you guys might have. I'm really a fan. I love art, so this is a really nice project that I enjoy. And I'm gonna just push it to Heroku, and I'll be looking forward to hear about your feedback and anything else that you might like to share about. So thank you so much. Have a great day.